A pleasant day to each and everyone, most especially to our Foundation of Education Professor, Dr. Marichu Tulang. Good afternoon, ma'am. By the way, my name is Noel Piso Estrellas, and I'm here to discuss my discourse paper entitled Teachers' Roles in Easing Academic Stress of the Students. Abstract. Stress is definitely a big word with even bigger impact. However, this can be dealt with the small changes that we can bring in our day to day life. For an individual, learning to learn and unwillingness to unlearn and change according to circumstances and relearn new skills are important in the present day world as means of transformation in achieving skills, higher levels of excellence for a successful living. Beyond reading, writing, and arithmetic, a child's ability to navigate this increasingly complex world requires a broad set of competencies cognitive, social, and practical. It is essential to identify the cause of the stress so that it can be addressed meticulously and efficient interventions that can be outlined. Stress is always seen as a subjective process and encompasses individuals' personal analysis and counter to threatening events. Stress can result in depression, anxiety, and many other hazardous conditions. This paper attempts to focus on stress management from the life skills education perspective in students and how a teacher and parents can help students to cope with stress in ongoing process. Therefore, it is essential that children and adolescents are given opportunities to develop life skills that will help them effectively cope with daily stressors and major life events. So, the key words of this paper are the impact, meticulously, threatening, hazardous, and stress management. Introduction. Stress is perspective of emotional and physical tension. There are a number of incidents in a person's life that leads to navigate emotions like anger, frustration, and nervousness that further develop stress in an individual. Stress is the body's reaction to change or demand. It can be positive at times. However, prolonged stress can lead to severe health conditions. Stress levels can differ on the basis of how one reciprocates to a certain situation. Some people just do not care and do not get anxious. They perceive stress as trivial knack and move on life on a daily basis. Others actually worry themselves more than required and affect their health. Stress is considered as a negative, behavioral, physiological process that takes place when the person tries to adapt and compromise with stressors, according to Bernstein et al. 2018. Now, according to Wilbert and Grumbling 1998, stressors are the circumstances that disrupt or threaten to disrupt individual daily functioning and cause people to make adjustment. While according to Malak, Pines, and Kian in 2007, defines stress as the insight of incongruity between environment burdens, or we call that one as the stressors, and the person's ability to fulfill these demands, regarded by the situation that can stimulate any kind of the threat or danger to well-being can be contemplated as stress. So, causes of stress among students. Academic pressure has increased over the past few years. There are various examinations, assignments, and many other activities that a student has a shuffle through. Not only the design, but teachers and parents also burden the students with a lot of pressure of getting good grades. These expectations make the students work relentlessly and end up in creating more stress. With academics, the parents and the institutions want the students to participate in extracurricular activities too. The current expectation from the students is to be an all-rounder. Lack of proper channels for counseling leads to more confusion, and the students are unable to choose a career for themselves even after rigorous studying patterns. This demand attitude from parents and the teachers leave the students bewildered and build up stress. Teenager and high school plays fundamental role in shaping the child's personal and outlook towards life. Peer pressure in yet another common term that one hears from the teenagers. This could be pressuring another to drink, smoke, cheat on tests, lying, etc. The list is exhaustive. Peer pressure can be harmful and compelling. It can help shape the personalities in a positive way for introvert students or can pose as an obstacle and lead to stress. It is extremely important for the students to have wisdom and surround themselves with positive people to make most of peer pressures to be positive. Heavy academic workloads and the feeling that you are constantly racing to meet another deadline can be daunting. Parental pressure on children to shine in their study and perform well is extracurricular activities is at remarkable high. Compelling need to excel in studies often prone to abuse thus injure the morale and it is one of the greatest causes of stress, failure, and breakdown. The race among parents to prove that their child is an all-rounder makes them end up as a victim rather than a successful. Lack of support is a major reasons for stress among students. Lack of interaction with parents and teachers keep on building on doubts and confusions that a child might have eventually leading to stress. There is a lot that a child is expected to achieve, but due to lack of proper support, they feel lost at sea and are left directionless. Prolonged stress can be lead to physical and emotional disorders, further resulting in anxiety and depression. It is important to have channel to relieve the anxiety according to McKeon et al. 2000. Believe that the stressors are not the sole reason for anxiety, tension, and depression. Rather, synergy between stressors and the person's approach and attitude to these stressors creates stress. Through stress is often considered bad, but there is always the other side of the coin. The right kind of stress helps in sharpening the mind and reflexes, thus helping in boosting memory. Mild stress is always essential for effective and efficient working. It can be helped on one to meet daily challenges and can be motivate students to reach their goals. Managing stress. Stress can be overwhelming and can be lead to a state of sadness in many teens. An NYU study claims that much of high school students' stress emerge during the school years and the baggage of stress is carried to college years which leads to academic disintegration and can result to a mental health problems. Once the student finally lands in the college, they have to deal with the stress of a new and enhanced workload, pressure of making friends and being in a socially acceptable circle, handling a network which is much more challenging. All this without the support of the parents on many occasions. Hence, it is of utmost importance to learn to deal with stress, so that the students can learn to navigate in the waters and able to sail through. There are very various ways and means that the student can adopt to relieve stress, like imbibing any one form of exercise to be done on daily basis. This small change will be go a long way and guarantees an environment of sustainable happiness. Meditation and breathing exercises can also be incorporated to relieve stress during exams and students avoid panicking. It is also important to ensure that students receive enough sleep. It would help the students to be more patient and have better learning grasp. Music is the therapeutic whether played in stress or otherwise. Listening to music can reap many benefits and can subside stress. Certainly, the way one talks with oneself really makes big difference in the whole attitude. Hence, positive self-talk is important, which will further lead to harmonious surroundings. So, managing stress through time management. All adolescents should be able to manage time wisely. It's important to give plenty of time to work on studies if person wants to do well, and then they can save a lot of stress if they plan ahead with good time management skills. Setting up the schedule for study, breaking up studies into smaller chunks, and other time management skills are essential. Here are some of more time management tips. Getting organized. So have a system of organization for note taking, keeping track of assignments and other important papers. Being organized can bring the peace of mind and comes from knowing where everything is, remembering deadlines and the test dates, and clearing mind of some of the mental confusion that this organization brings. Keeping a calendar, schedule, and filing system of school assignments prevent a significant amount of stress. Next is planning each day. Planning day can help to accomplish more and feel more in control of your life. Writing to-do list, putting the most important task at the top. Keep a schedule of daily activities to minimize conflicts and last-minute rushes. Next is prioritizing tasks. Time-consuming but relatively unimportant tasks can consume a lot of person's day. Prioritizing tasks will ensure that time and energy used on those that are truly important to be a person. Next is say no to non-essential tasks. Consider goals and schedule before agreeing to take an additional work. Breaking large, time-consuming tasks into smaller tasks, work on them a few minutes at a time until you get them all done. Practice a 10-minute rule. Work on a graded task for 10 minutes each day. Once a person gets started, he or she may find that he can finish it. Take a break when needed. Too much stress can derail a person's attempts at getting organized. So for this, giving a break by walking, doing some quick stretches at workstation, and a day of vacation to rest and reorganize. Next is managing stress through positive thinking. Research shows the benefits of optimism and a positive frame of mind are huge. Optimists enjoy better health, stronger relationships, are more productive, and experience less stress, among other things. This is because optimists tend to take more risk and blame external circumstances if they fail maintaining a try and gain mindset. This makes them more likely to succeed in the future and less upset by failure in general. Pessimists, on the other hand, tend to blame themselves when things go wrong, becoming more reluctant to try again with each negative experience in life. They begin to look at positive events in their lives as flukes that have nothing to do with them and expect the worst. In this way, optimists and pessimists both create self-fulfilling prophecies. Because of the difference in behavior in optimists versus pessimists, those who habitually practice positive thinking tend to experience more success, which can add up to a less stressful life. So use positive think and self-talk. Attitude toward stressful situations is critical. If a person focuses on the positive and pleasurable, positive things seem to happen. It is important to talk to yourself using positive affirmations in order to change behavior and reduces stress. Repeating statements such as, I enjoy managing my life. And also, I am choosing to live my life fully is will produce the intended result. So next is role of a teacher. So teachers no more remain the lone dispensers of information and knowledge. Teachers are essential players in promoting quality education, whether in schools or in more flexible community-based programs. They are advocates for and catalysts of change. No education reform is likely to succeed without the active participation and ownership of teachers. Teachers must also accept their professional responsibilities and be accountable to both learners and communities. The strategies should address the new role of teachers in preparing students for an emerging knowledge-based and technology-driven economy. Teachers must be able to understand diversity in learning styles and in the physical and intellectual development of students, and to create stimulating participatory learning environments in order to have an effective implementation of life skill education. Here is a needed for professionally trained and skilled professional from within the country. Most be able to understand diversity in learning styles and in the physical and intellectual development of students. Implement practical tools and materials to identify causes of stress. Technique like working in a small groups and pairs, brainstorming, role play, games and debates, case study. Regularly taking with the students to identify the stress they are having and act like a counselor to guide them. Follow peers educators approach. It involves one teacher and 3 to 4 students, representatives from each school. So forming the core life skills team at the school. So they learn these skills through active learning and participation in a 6 session inter-school training workshop program. They further train their peers at school in these skills through the same process. They follow up with the main resource team for feedback, discussion, training material, and etc. Now, for the role of parents. Encourage your teen to talk about what he or she is going through and be willing to be listened. Don't just jump to conclusions and give advice. Depending on the situation, your teen may not want advice, just to be understood. Even if a problem seems small to you, it may be a major concern for your child. Minimizing problem or saying you'll get over it is not helpful. It gives the message you don't understand or are not willing to listen. Offer reassurance, encouragement, and support. Be willing to provide verbal and physical comfort, but don't be discouraged if your teen rejects your effort or is irritable. These are normal reaction to stress. Be patient and let your child know you're available if he or she needs you. Encourage your teen to participate in activities normally enjoyed. Support involvement in positive and pro-social activities. Model effective stress management and coping skills. Build a relationship so that your teen will feel comfortable coming to you when he or she needs help. Don't burden them with your problems, but tell them about the family's goals and discuss difficulties in a friendly manner. Don't overload your child with too many after school activities and responsibilities. Let children learn to pace themselves. Don't enroll them in a very class that comes along, and don't expect them to be first in everything. Conclusion. Through life skill education, one can move towards a more positive and holistic approaches in order to educate the new generation and through them, the future generations. In a nutshell, the essence of life skills is to share well, care well, and fare well. Life skills are inevitable to become successful in professional life as well as personal life. Too much emphasis in scientific and technological developments and its impact on students has left behind the human development qualitatively, which is now influencing the youngster adversely. However, inclusion of life skills will diffuse the situation positively. By integrating life skills in the school curriculum, the learning process becomes more effective. Since life skills form an important component in balanced personality development of a child, let's find various provisions inside and outside the classroom to inculcate the spirit of true life values in the mind of the growing younger generation. In the future, every educational endeavor will have to ask itself whether and to what extent it promotes learning activities that help develop life skills that are vital to coping with the key issues of one's life and survival, and to what extent is stimulus requisite attitudes and motivations, curiosity, interest, and self-starting quantities. For lifelong learning, life skills cannot be learned in abstract and theoretical way. Rather, it requires the individual to subject his own experience, context, and observations about problems to create analysis and evaluation, to collect, probe, and discuss his experience where it happens in the real life. So here are the reference of my topic. So it is not stress that kills us. It is our reaction to it. Thank you.